Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me today. This is Taliesin McKnight, and today I wanted to make a video covering the Testament of Solomon. The Testament of Solomon is one of the most important books of Western ceremonial magic, and it is often seen as the foundational text of Solomonic Magick. The Testament of Solomon is the oldest, or at least one of the oldest sources for Solomonic magic. The text is often dated between the 1st and 5th centuries of our common era, and the text describes how King Solomon used a magical ring to summon and control demons. And so the story tells how King Solomon used a magical ring to summon and command and control demons and to get them to build his temple. The text outlines a certain demonic hierarchy. It outlines it's one of the earliest sources of demonology, along with the books of Enoch and stuff. And the Bible itself. So the Testament of Solomon mentions a bunch of different demons, with Beelzebul or Beelzebub as the king of hell, and the various demons are mentioned and classified. Now these same lists of demons would later appear in the Byzantine Solomonic text, the Treatise of Solomon, or Hygromanteia. Now this other Greek text, both texts were written in Koine Greek. This text was seen as a link between the Roman period Testament of Solomon and the later Key of Solomon of the 14th and 15th centuries. So the Testament of Solomon is a text dating back roughly around 2,000 years ago, probably 1st through 5th centuries, that tells how King Solomon used a ring to control and command demons. Now, you learn certain very important things for this. This is a source for the later structure of the demonic hierarchy and for demonology, although many of these demons would not appear in, let's say, the Goetia or the Megaton, stuff like that. But this, the Testament of Solomon is a very important text. And it shows the belief that a magical ring can control spirits. Now, this concept may derive from the magic of late antiquity, Greco-Egyptian magic of dealing with spirits, as you find in the PGM, or Greek magical papyri, which is a collection of magical practices dating from the 2nd century BCE up until around the 5th century of our common era. So from around the same time period as the Testament of Solomon, you find the Greek magical papyri. But anyways, I digress. So, the Testament of Solomon tells the story of how a little boy that was working on King Solomon's temple had a demon plaguing him that would steal half his food and provisions and was drawing out his life force by sucking his right thumb. So King Solomon asked the little boy, "Why are you growing thin? Why are you looking weak?" And the little boy explained that a demon kept taking his food, taking his provisions, taking his pay, and was drawing out his life energy through his thumb. So King Solomon prayed in the temple of God to find a way to get command of the demon. And so the Archangel Michael gives Solomon a sacred ring, a magical ring. Now the magical ring would be a central feature of the later Latin grimoires. So that's interesting. So with this magical ring, Solomon controls and commands the demons. So that's interesting. And throughout the text, he throws the ring into the chest of a demon and controls it. But anyways, King Solomon gets the little boy to get the demon to come to him, whose name is Orneus, which would later appear in the Treatise of Solomon, as I said. And then from there, the king of hell, Beelzebul or Beelzebub, and then each of the demons come. Now, another important note about the Testament of Solomon and what it reveals about ancient demonology is that the different demons are assigned to astrological signs. So, for example, Orneus is a demon ascribed to the zodiac sign of Aquarius. Different demons are assigned to different planets, different stars, different zodiac signs. In fact, there's even a passage where 36 demons were assigned to the 36 deacons or decans, which are the 3 different faces of each zodiac sign. So this may also be a link with the magic of late antiquity of star magic having roots in Babylon and Greece, Egypt, and all of that. So it's interesting. You see a link between the demons and the stars and planets. Also another interesting feature of the Testament of Solomon is that different angels were pit against each demon as a way to help have control over them. So, for example, you summon a demon, you summon the angel that thwarts that demon, so it keeps that demon from overpowering you, so to speak. So it's very interesting, this text. This is probably the source of much that would appear in the later Grimoires. As I said, the Greek Treatise of Solomon, or Hygromonteia, may be a link with the late Roman period Testament of Solomon and the later Latin Grimoires, as is postulated by occult scholar Stephen Skinner. In his foreword to that text that has recently been translated. So anyways, the Testament of Solomon is not really a book that you're going to get clearly outlined practical instructions, but it is important to understand the history and the development of Solomonic Magick as it would later appear in the Key of Solomon and the later Latin Grimoires, in the Arbatel of Magic, the Armadel, the Sefer Haraziel, the Greater Key of Solomon, the Lemegaton, the Grimorium Verum, the Grand Grimoire. So this text would be very important to the later development of Solomonic Magick. Now, this text, this treatise, is actually very small. It's not long at all. It's like 30, 40 pages, maybe 60 pages, 50 pages. So what I encourage you to do is to get a copy. Read it. I promise you, if you read this text and study it, then you will have a greater understanding for the development of later Solomonic Magick. So I'm putting this in my sort of History of Magic series, my unofficial series, in which I will be going into the historical roots of magic from the Greco-Roman period of late antiquity, Greco-Egyptian magic, the practice of ancient Solomonic magic, and I plan to get into Picatrix, and from Picatrix to get into the different Latin grimoires, the Sworn Book of Honorius, the different grimoires of ceremonial magic. Classical ceremonial magic is basically the ability to summon and control demons. So anyways, a lot of that is coming up. Now, this is another one of my videos where I don't go as fully as I usually do, and I greatly apologize. You have to understand, I'm trying to do weekly videos every single week, and this time I actually have a video made, but the thing is, I apologize that this video isn't as in detail as usual, but I'm just kind of winging it, because even if I don't feel like it, even if I'm going into a slump, I'm going to make a video every single week. So I apologize that this video is not more in depth than it is, but this is an important video which is dealing with the Treatise of Solomon. So, we covered that the text dates probably from the 1st through 5th centuries of our Common Era. It is a source book of later Solomonic magic. The text describes how King Solomon used a ring on his finger, a magical ring, to control and command demons. It describes how each demon has a thwarting angel that rises against it, and also how each one is assigned to a zodiac sign, planet, or deacon of the zodiac. So that's interesting. So this is important for understanding the later development of Solomonic magic. Now, one more interesting note is that this probably has a Christian source. Why do I say that? Because there are repeated references to Jesus or allusions to Jesus. So this is often interpreted as being a text that was developed by Christianity or Greek Christians that were mystically inclined and interested in magic. So that's interesting. I plan to do more videos on this. Again, I apologize. I'm not trying to overly apologize, but I do want to provide good quality material for you guys, good quality material for students. So I'm just going to keep at it. Every week, new material will be coming out, and we are about to go really deeply into these subjects. So thank you very much for joining me today. There's lots of wonderful ground that we will cover, and I hope that everyone has a wonderful day, a wonderful week. Have a great day, everyone.